exclusive.
Folks, we have an update on the Nilexia Alexander case. The authorities have arrested a second man they say was involved in the killing of the 14-year-old. If you forgot, let me refresh your memory a little bit. Nilexia Alexander was found shot to death one morning in May in a vacant lot off Wfla Avenue. Robert Quincy Jr. Creed was arrested and charged with being an accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. So says Tampa Police Chief Mary O'Connor. The chief made some announcements at the police-sponsored community forum to address violent crime at the Rome Avenue Church of Christ in Old West Tampa, saying,
on July 8th, we announced that we arrested Ronnie Walker for the murder, premeditated first-degree murder of Nilexia Alexander. Today, we are here to announce that we have made a second arrest in this case. Today, we arrested Robert Creed Jr., Robert Quincy Creed Jr., and his charge was for accessory after the fact for first-degree murder. He was located by the U.S. Marshals Task Force this afternoon, and he currently sits in the Pinellas County Jail.
Police declined to answer questions about the decision to charge Creed only as an accessory. U.S. Marshals arrested him about noon on a Thursday in Pinellas County. According to jail records, he was held in the Pinellas County Jail on $15,000 bond. Hillsborough State Attorney Andrew Warren commended the police for what he described as an exhaustive effort to identify a suspect in Nilexia's death. The effort included collecting dozens of surveillance videos from houses and businesses and matching them against cell phone signal records. TPD has been pounding the pavement, and these cases aren't easy, said Warren. A large crowd gathered for Thursday night's forum, with many expressing concerns over violent crimes. Police urge people who have information about unsolved crimes to speak up. Tampa police have investigated 33 homicides so far this year. So says Tampa Police Major Mike Stout. That's slightly more than the total number at this time last year. The city logged a total of 48 homicides in 2021. That's more than any recent year. Efforts to combat crime include focusing on people who habitually commit serious offenses. Police also continue to investigate homicides that has not yet netted an arrest. Among this year's killings, police have made arrests in 6, Major Stout said. In some cases, investigative efforts have been hindered by a lack of cooperation by witnesses. It's a frustrating problem, Major Mike Stout said. Nilexia Alexander's mom wants answers.
Ashley Alexander only spoke for 1 minute and 12 seconds, but was able to sum up the lifetime of pain she now faces.
I prayed that this day would come, they would get him off the streets. I thank God. I thank God to tell him let's go.
She joined police and prosecutors as they announced the arrest of 44-year-old Ronnie Walker, who they say killed her daughter, 14-year-old Nilexia Alexander, in a premeditated fashion in the early morning hours of May 6th. Her body was found on Wfla Avenue, just a mile north of downtown. Police say they tied Walker's car to the area and determined with cell phone data that she was in the car around the same time. They then tied him to the car with DNA. Walker's latest trip through the justice system started Friday morning as his lawyers appeared in front of a Hillsborough County judge.
Mr. Walker, you're going to be held without bond until we can have a hearing on the state's motion next week.
Walker has only been out of jail since November. He was charged in 2009 with murder for the 2003 home invasion killing of Elaine Caldwell. He was convicted of manslaughter in 2010, which was later overturned on appeal. He got 8 years and was released in 2017, but he went back in for 4 years for violating probation. He allegedly killed Nilexia 6 months after he got out. Caldwell's daughter was at today's press conference.
This is an animal. They just need to just keep him locked up.
Police would not say why they consider the killing of Nilexia to be premeditated, nor did they say how a 44-year-old man wound up in a car with a 14-year-old girl at 4 a.m. She had been reported as a runaway. Her mother said this is only the beginning as the court system revs up once again to handle Ronnie Walker.
Today we are here to announce that we have made a second arrest in this case. Today we arrested Robert Creed Jr., Robert Quincy Creed Jr.
This week, police announced a second arrest in her daughter's death. Robert Quincy Creed Jr. is charged with accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. Ronnie Walker was already charged with first-degree murder in the runaway teen's death. Police say Walker's car was in the same area at the time of the murder and that Creed was with him. Investigators say Nilexia's DNA was inside that car, but they haven't said what role each one played or how they knew each other.
What led up to my daughter's being killed? What did she do so bad for you all to execute her? And who was the ringleader to plan it all?
Police still investigate that part as Ashley grieves this loss in her heart and home.
She just sit on the porch and we just watch the cars pass, and she'll tell me about her school days, and her hair was always just curly and out and wild, and she just sat there with the brightest smile.
Wanting to make sure no one forgets this young life tragically taken far too soon.
I want my baby's story to be told. I want the world to know what happened to my baby.
Nilexia Alexander! Nilexia Alexander! Nilexia Alexander!
That's just one thing that's helping me be strong, just knowing that my daughter's in heaven looking down.